it is. It's going to be all about cats. It's called MCAT. Must stand for Missoula Cat. They'll probably even have a show on about cats like you waiting to be adopted from the Humane Society. It's going to be everything you ever wanted to know about cats. What cats like to eat, what kind of games cats like, what kind of litter cats like, what kind of people cats like. What? What is it, Joopy? MCAT doesn't stand for Missoula Cats? It stands for Missoula Community Access Television? Oh, sorry, Raspberry.
We want to welcome MCAT.
Yes, all the best to this very important new enterprise for Missoula.
We've been waiting a long time for it.
Welcome, MCAT, to Missoula. We're all proud of you.
Meow, this is MCAT. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, Missoula. My name is Ron Wheeler, and it's my happy job today to wish you a happy Earth Day and to introduce you to Missoula Community Access Television, MCAT. What we're hoping is that although life in Missoula is pretty good, our presence may help to make it even better. I'd like to tell you a little bit about MCAT. We have a facility that is located at the Circle Square building, the basement of the old Missoulian building, and we have equipment that is furnished to us by the city of Missoula that is for the use of all Missoula residents, and we offer training for that equipment. All of this is free of charge, and the concept here is that all of Missoula can become television producers, and by so doing we can speak to each other on this electronic medium. A great way to improve the democratic process and to spread a lot of the culture in Missoula that we all know is here. I'm sitting today with Josh Henderson. Sorry, Josh. What we're going to do is interview a few prospective producers here in Missoula and try to find out exactly what these people have in mind for what they can do, and hopefully by doing this you too can have some ideas about how you can use this facility. Josh, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you live and what do you do?
Well, I'm a student at Hellgate High School, I guess is the immediate response.
Yay, Hellgate.
Yay. I am active in the newspaper and different activities at school, but when I heard about MCAT, I was immediately kind of turned off because I didn't really know how to apply. And when I heard about Earth Week at Hellgate High School, I realized that I had to have an opportunity to participate and make a film on Earth Week, which happened at Hellgate High School in the last week. And we're working on that right now, hoping to show that sometime on MCAT.
Well, where did you hear about MCAT?
I heard about it through the school paper, and I'd heard about it like in the newspaper and different things, but I hadn't really known what it was until I got active in Earth Week, and I came to the first orientation meeting and got active into it.
Tell us a little bit about what happened to you when you came to an orientation meeting.
Well, it was a friendly experience, I guess. They were pretty nice people. They showed me how to use the camera equipment, and basically it's a pretty simple meeting. They go through the rules and regulations, and then later on you are allowed to take out a camera and go out and just film in order to learn how to use it.
How tough is it to check out equipment?
There's some scheduling difficulties, but I didn't find too much difficulty. I think that may have been a result of being with Earth Week. I had a little bit of a priority, but besides that, I don't think it's too difficult to get equipment.
Well, what sorts of things? Once you get your training, your basic training, so to speak, and you get some equipment, you do a little practice. What is it you're planning on producing?
I don't know. I kind of fancy myself as a budding David Lynch or Steven Spielberg, kind of looking to do whatever comes across my mind, just something creative. The first activity I'm on right now is Earth Week, where we're filming. We filmed all the activities last week at Hellgate High School, and are now working on putting that together and putting the final touches on that so that we can make a program to be shown on MCAT as a sort of documentary. after that, I hope to do maybe some creative work, just stuff that I've constructed all by myself.
Well, let's get back to Earth Day then. You say that there was a number of activities at Hellgate. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you videotaped and we can look forward to seeing in the future?
Our film, hopefully the final product will be a sort of collage, kind of a hodgepodge of interviews, regrettably sound bites, but that seems to work really well on television, footage of the environment, and footage of the activities that happened at Hellgate during that week.
What sorts of activities did happen there?
They planted a tree, various things that were environmentally oriented. They had a small concert. There were rallies and different things going on. So all of that will be put together in sort of a compiled work, I guess, is what I'm looking for. And then we can show that on MCAT.
And you'll be doing your editing here?
All of the work will be done here, all the editing.
One of the things that we're pretty proud of down here, and I think everyone will be impressed with, is the amount of equipment that the city has supplied us with. One of the things that everyone in Missoula should understand is that MCAT operates as a result of a franchise that has been let by the city of Missoula to TCI Cablevision of Montana. And as a result of their agreeing to a franchise, the city and TCI, TCI has supplied the city of Missoula with over $200,000 worth of video equipment, which we rent from the city of Missoula for $1 a year, and I'm told that we're paid up. Plus, we have a relatively large operating budget, or at least it looked that way until we started operating, $100,000 a year. We have 1.5 paid staff who you'll meet shortly. And what we would like to do is maybe switch cameras in a moment and introduce you to our paid staff and show you some of the equipment that is available for your use in our facility. Randy, can you switch us into the control room so that we can see who's there?
And bring up 6.
Oh, wow, what a switch.
My goodness. Okay, hello. We're here in the MCAT control room.
I'm going to get back.
Mary Canty, assistant director in the foreground. Mike Meese, volunteer producer, and right now volunteer sound person at the mixing board. And yeah, we're finally getting to play with some of this equipment that has come in. Mary and I received our training yesterday. The volunteers received their training about 30 minutes ago. And it appears to be working from this end. We hope you're getting a decent picture and sound through your TV set. The equipment is, well, it's nice stuff. It's high-end industrial, in some cases broadcast quality equipment, but it was selected to be very easy to use, user-friendly, I guess is the term. The control room and the automated playback system and our advanced editing system are advanced to the point where people can work up to that. People who are new to video production can start with much simpler equipment. Super VHS camcorders, again, good quality equipment, but things that are as easy to use as anything you've used at home. Video is nothing to be afraid of, and here at MCAT our job is to demystify the medium and to get it into your hands. You have a story to tell, you have a message to share, you have something to get out on TV to your neighbors, and MCAT is the place you could do that. Let's see if this works in the reverse direction and go back to Ron in the studio.
Well, thank you, Randy. You could see some of our equipment in the back. Some of the fanciest stuff is in our editing suites where most of the post-production work will be done. Josh, have you used any of the editing equipment yet?
No, I haven't gotten the opportunity yet. I've been kind of run ragged trying to get footage for Earth Week down at Hellgate, which was last week. This coming week I'm going to schedule in some time to work on.
So you're going to take some training on some of the...
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of equipment have you been using here?
Mainly I've been using the Portapacks, which consist of a portable camera, microphone, a tripod with wheels, extension cord, various things that you can use that you'd need for filming outside of the studio.
And how difficult is this stuff to use?
Oh, it's easy. I mean, I was surprised. I thought it'd be a lot more complex than it is. I have kind of a hard time filming. I'm not really an expert at that yet, but set up and take down are pretty easy.
I'm glad you said yet. What is it, point and shoot, or is there more to it than that?
There are certain techniques that involved with filming that I haven't, by no means, have mastered, but there are, it's basically simple.
Do you know, is much of our equipment like the stuff that you see in people's homes, or?
You'd expect it to be much more difficult than the stuff you'd see in people's homes, but it isn't. It's very easy to use.
Easy to use. That's mostly the key, what I was getting at. I think that what people will find here in Missoula is that the level of training and the level of the equipment that they wish to use will be available, right? That we start out with SVHS camcorders, and we move up through 3-chip, 3/4-inch tape, so that virtually anything you would like to do in video is available for you here at our facility. We have a studio in which we're shooting right now. It's almost complete. We're still a work in progress, as Randy is fond of saying. But very soon our studio will be in full swing, and we'll have 2 3-chip cameras ready to go all the time, operated and directed through our switching board in our control room. We have 2 editing suites. One of them is probably state-of-the-art, and we'll put together, we hope, some very, very fancy tapes for us to watch here in Missoula. Today we're going to be seeing some clips of some tapes that will be shown in the near future. The first one that we're going to look at was done at the 1990 International Wildlife Film Festival, and this is a clip from the ethics workshop. And if we could roll this one, we've got about 2 minutes of it. I'd like to take a look at it now.
As for me, how did I get here? I'm not a filmmaker, and some of you may know from last year's ethics panel, I'm a psychotherapist. And the reason that I'm interested in environmental ethics is that in my work as a psychotherapist, and in my own healing process, my journey through life, it's become very clear to me that without a natural world, we are doomed as the species we think we'd like to be. We have lost our spirits. We have physical disease. We have emotional illness because we have lost our connection with nature. And so for me, the fate of our human species depends completely on the well-being of the natural world. Without it, we're not going to be the people that we think we are or would like to be. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Game did a movie several years ago that won an award here at the film festival called The Last Parable. And I have to paraphrase the sentence from that script that had meaning to me, but it went something like, the longer we live, the farther we travel from who we think we are. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And one of the strangest paradoxes to me about human nature is that the farther we get removed from wilderness and nature in the natural sense, the wilder we become. And I say that because I looked up a lot of words in the dictionary last summer, good old Webster's Collegiate. And words like natural are related to being foolish and an idiot and crazy. Look up Webster's. Look up the word wild in the dictionary. It relates to insanity. And I think there's a real paradox there. What is wild? And why do we seek to tame it and dominate it? And what happens to us when we do that? Just thoughts to ponder.
Hi, MCAT. Welcome to Missoula. Hi, MCAT. Now, what does that mean? Oh, I know. The Missoula Center for Appropriate Technology. No? Missoula Community Access Television. Is that right? Uncle Mike, Aunt Jean, Mom, Dad, can you see me? Is that what it is? Does that mean that people like me can be on TV? That we can direct our own shows, produce them, write them? Wonderful. Let's do some more.
Standing.
Welcome to Missoula Public Access TV from all of us kids at EVST.
Yeah!
Well, just a touch of what you have to look forward to. One of the things that you should realize is that in these clips that you'll be seeing from time to time today, we're just seeing small snatches from events that happen in Missoula almost on a daily basis. Events that most of us simply don't have the time or energy to take in. However, for the first time in Missoula's history, many of these events will be broadcast as tape delay on television. One of the things that you have to look forward to in Missoula is the university is going to provide us with the Mansfield Lecture Series, including in an upcoming personal appearance by Ralph Nader. Many workshops will be videotaped during the day, and they will be cable cast to your home once or twice, 2 different times during the week, so that you can participate at a level that has never before been possible. I have sitting with me today William Dratz, and Bill and I have been friends for some time. We've been involved in this particular adventure for a considerable length of time. So he and I will go over some history. But I think what makes Bill unique is that in addition to being a member of the board of directors of MCAT, and a hard-working board member, I might add, William also plans on being one of our most active producers. William, would you like to say hello to the people of Missoula?
Hello, Missoula. It's so nice to be here again.
One of the things that I'd like to talk about with you, Bill, is your history with MCAT. When did you get started?
Ron, I think about a year and a half ago. Was it that long?
Oh, at least.
2 years ago, there was a major transition from the committee that was putting together the whole concept of community access television in Missoula. This committee essentially metamorphosed into a public board. At that point, I showed an interest in being on the board and came forward. I think from time to time, I might add, as a 15-member board, as you know, from time to time, at least once a year, we seek board members, and we seek diversity in the community. I think that one of the reasons I probably got on the board was because I probably represent the views of at least 2 or 3 or 4 people in the community other than myself. And so the idea of getting as wide a constituency as possible, I think that was part of the picture.
Yeah, that is true. And as a matter of fact, we're adding, 4 new board members at our next meeting. We're in the process of selecting now. By the way, this is a public service organization. MCAT is a not-for-profit corporation who has a 5-year contract with the city, and our reason for being is to provide public access television in the city of Missoula. So do watch your paper, because from time to time we'll be asking for people to serve on our board. And our board is a working board. We make policy, and we'll take most of the heat that's generated at this station.
Yes, we will.
A little history. Public access television has been about 10 years coming to Missoula. And I guess I sort of sit here before you today only because I've lasted longer than most people in this effort. I'm the president of the corporation, MCAT, and so I drew the short straw today and get to introduce you to this facility. About 10 years ago, a small group of citizens in Missoula decided that we needed, here in Missoula, a bit more access to the media. We got together and we talked about the possibility of low-power radio broadcasting. But we found out that in other places around the country, public access facilities were being built. The idea behind that was that a cable provider had the use of a city's right-of-way in which they could string their cable. And in exchange for that permission to use the right-of-way, many cities were gaining capitalization of a public access facility and a dedicated channel. This group of citizens went to work for the city, were selected by the city to work for them, to design such a facility and to enter into negotiations for the city with the cable providers. This is a long, involved process, and believe me, gets awfully boring. But it did evolve to a point where $170,000 was granted by TCI to the city of Missoula for equipment, plus 5% of TCI's gross income on a yearly basis. In addition, and I think really importantly in Missoula, we succeeded in getting 12 miles of upstream cable. And what that means is that in addition to this facility from which we're broadcasting today, there are 9 other sites in the city of Missoula from which either live cable casting or pre-produced programming can originate. For example, the 3 public high schools are hooked up and almost ready to go. There's a hookup at the District 1 Administration Building. There is one at City Hall, and you will be seeing live coverage of the City Council, gavel to gavel, every Monday night, although we will have to wait until they are back in their City Hall facilities. There is an origination site at the public library, and as a matter of fact, if you tune in Wednesday night, you'll be seeing the Night of 1,000 Stars and see some of Missoula's prominent citizens reading live from the library. County Courthouse has a hookup, as does the VOTEC. And so you can see that we have put together a rather extensive network within Missoula. Bill, what do you see happening down the road? How is this facility going to get going, and what's it going to look like?
I left my crystal ball at home, Ron, but let me see if I can sort of predict here. I think that we'll grow in staff will certainly, I just think it's a growth proposition. Today's our birthday. It's hard to say on our Earth Day where we're going, but I think the key here is community involvement. What I hope to see, and what I know we will see, is this huge response from the city of Missoula, people in Missoula. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, and one I had forgotten to make. We are a facility that has a lot of equipment, and we have a minimal amount of staff. 2 very hard-working, very talented people. But this is going to be, this MCAT is going to be a volunteer-based organization. You need to contact us, and our number is 542-MCAT.
That's 542-MCAT.
542-MCAT. And volunteer your services. We need people at this point to do virtually everything. Answer the telephone, learn how to use the cameras, learn how to produce programming, learn to do editing, write scripts, do storyboards, draw pictures, go for coffee. Whatever it is you're willing to do, we're willing to put you to work. So the faster we put together our volunteer crews, the more we're going to have to watch on Missoula Community Access Television.
One thing I must say, Ron, Missoula is a very capable community, and for that reason I see volunteerism, even if that is a base we rely on, as being a very effective base. So I'm looking forward to some good results.
Well, one of the things that obviously interests me is getting your programming on television. I'd like to spend a little bit of time talking about the kinds of things you've done in the past and what sorts of things you'd like to do with MCAT in the future.
I have a piece coming up shortly. It's about a half-an-hour piece. It was a documentary I did about a year and a half ago called All of Us, and it will be broadcast. It's about life lived by people who have disabilities from their point of view. I worked in 4 towns in Montana to produce this piece. I have some other things that are a little bit different than that. I have a piece called Haiku that I've been working on. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'll be sure and let you know first thing when it's done. I have to be careful that my program isn't overly salacious or anything like that. I'm sure it won't be. I'm not a budding Christopher Rage. There aren't very many people out there who know who Christopher Rage is, and that's probably good. But I want to do things that are funny and humorous and a little bit tactless, and so that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Well, I'm sure you know better than most that that Missoula Community Access will be putting on television programs that are produced by the people of Missoula. We are, at MCAT, are going to remain program neutral. The only thing that will govern our programming will be that we will refuse to cablecast programming that is as outlined in the First Amendment. That is, we will not put on programming that is patently obscene, and of course that's going to be in the eye of the beholder. We will not do programming that exhorts to immediate violence. We will not allow people to invade privacy, to libel or slander. But otherwise, you're going to find that Missoula Community Access Television is an electronic soapbox, one in which everyone is welcome to come and express their views, express their talents, express their craft. And we hope that everyone is going to do that. There will be time when you won't like the programming, but there will be times when you will see programming here that you will see nowhere else and will want to see it desperately. We have the ability here to do what we call narrow casting. We can produce programming without having to rely on making money in order to do so. Therefore, you will see programming here that does not necessarily have mass appeal, but programming that you and your family and maybe 3 or 4 other families in Missoula will love to watch. And we're hoping that from time to time we will strike that kind of chord in each and every family in Missoula. We have some other clips that we'd like to look at. There's one that, again, is from an upcoming piece that is produced by Mike Meese. And this is a clip from an event that you're probably fairly familiar with. It was covered in the paper a few days ago. It is the famous peace sign incident.
For a second. If there's any problem with the microwave, you'll be arrested for trespass. We're not going to bother that. Okay, I'm not saying you are, just so everybody understands the law. This is private property belonging to U.S. West. As you're all aware, they've had a lot of problems with it. Anybody over the fence, it's a criminal offense.
Give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cultural aspect of MCAT. And just a second, Rich. for culture, we're going to start out with my playing some cultural tunes.
Christy, go to
Hey,
Christy.
now wait a second. Hey, Rich. I said sit right down there that I was going to play some cultural tunes to get this started off. You don't mind?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
Christy, help!
No.
Now you boys behave.
All right.
I'm Christy Dodson. Happy Earth Day. I'm going to sing a song written by Jonathan Edwards called God's Green Earth. On God's green earth, a golden sun shines down. On God's green earth, the fields are red and brown. The silver rain of springtime brings the miracle of birth. There's room for every color here on God's green earth. God made the night, took away the light, made the colors blend into a single shade. God made the day, took the night away, so we could see how it was meant to be. In God's blue sky, sometimes the gray clouds blow, and storms may arise from the land down below. And all the different colors forget each other's worth. They clash with one another here on God's green earth. So God made the night, took away the night, made the colors fade into a single shade. God made the day, took the night away, so we could see how it was meant to be. On God's green earth, a golden sun shines down. On God's green earth, the fields are red and brown. The silver rain of springtime brings the miracle of birth. There's room for every color here on God's green earth. There's room for every color here on God's green earth.
Fork. Now, as you know, there's been a controversy over whether to build it on the east side of the Orange Street Bridge or on the west side of the Orange Street Bridge. The two groups have gotten together and they've reached a compromise, so they'll both be happy. Had you heard about that?
No.
Yeah.
Happy Earth Day.
Now, the interesting thing about this bridge is the mayor has found a way to save us $200,000 by building the bridge out of old cars. Now, there's a lot of old cars, as you know, that have been rip-wrapped on the Bitterroot River down by Lolo. There's hundreds and hundreds of them down there up against the banks. And the mayor has gotten together with Bruce Vincent of the Log Hole, and he's going to come down here with his couple of logging trucks, and they're going to pull these cars right out of those riverbanks. And Bruce said he'd bring them right down to the Orange Street Bridge, and we're just going to weld them right across the bridge. That way we can have pollution-free access across the bridge for everybody that wants to go across. The children, guys like Rich, people like Christy Dodson, the cameraman here, the cultural commissars, whoever wants to be able to get across the bridge can, and still feel as if they're with their cars. That's the beauty of it. Bridges are for cars, we know that. But if we build it out of auto bodies, then we'll be able to remove those cars from the Bitterroot and put them here across the Clark Fork where they belong. There is, you haven't heard about this, Rich?
That's I'm
There is
pleased.
a hitch.
A trailer hitch.
Well, there's a serious hitch.
There's
Bruce
a hitch.
Vincent said he'd help us out, but there is one hitch.
Lay it on me.
No? All right. This hasn't gotten out yet. Now here it is. He wants to, while he's down here, as you know, the prices of maple are rising, and he wants to clear cut the town. Nobody but some of my friends have helped me, occasionally with some support. And you'll probably understand why when you see this film. But if you want to do a pan with a camera like this, and you don't have a tripod or anything, you know, a pan is when you go from one side to the other, and they tell you in film school, you want to go slow like this, and go slow on a pan like that. See that? Go slow on a pan. And that way the image won't shake or wobble. You want to go slow. Well, I don't have to follow those rules. I don't have to follow any rules. In fact, I never knew there were any rules until I grew up. But what I do when I do a pan is, sometimes, like I'll do a pan, you'll see this in the film, but I want you to know what you're seeing. I never got to talk to the judges at the Wildlife Film Festival. They thought it was all inept. And in fact, there was one person there, one of the judges realized, gee, maybe this guy's doing this on purpose.
Act as a bureaucrat in your interest most of the time. I have with me another individual, Sue Purvis, from Missoula, who is interested in becoming a producer with MCAT. How are you, Sue?
Good, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do?
I've been living in Missoula off and on for about 10 years, and I'm a geologist when I'm in town, and I travel quite a bit, and recently I bought myself an 8mm camera and decided to film at some of the places that I go to. So last fall I found out about MCAT and realized I could actually put together some of the footage that I've taken over the past year. And I'm now starting to learn how to edit my material.